Before I knew it, a lot of time had passed, and I saw the sun setting. I told my daughter it was time to leave the water. Suddenly, I had a bad feeling about what was happening. My husband Bill and my mother-in-law Lily's bags were gone. Then I heard the sound of a boat's engine. What was going on? To my surprise, Bill had gotten on the boat and left me and my daughter by the shore. "Hey, why are you leaving us?" I swam toward the boat in a panic, but even though it was small, I couldn't catch up. I might have hurt myself if I tried. "It's fine, we're not really related by blood, so it doesn't matter," I heard Bill say. I was shocked when I got close to the boat. Then Lily looked at me from the boat and laughed, saying, "Ha, look at that stupid face." Bill looked at me with disgust, and then the boat sailed away, leaving my daughter and me behind. My name is Lauren, I'm 32 years old, and I'm a housewife. I live with my husband Bill and our 7-year-old daughter Jessica. Jessica works hard in her studies, sports, and piano lessons. She's been playing the piano since she was 5. Jessica is so cute, and she means everything to me. Life with her is full of happiness, but things weren't going well with Bill. Bill and I met about 10 years ago. I started working at a company, and Bill, who was 2 years older, became my trainer. I was attracted to him because he worked hard and was always kind and helpful to me. We got closer and eventually started dating. After 2 years, we got married. Our early years of marriage were wonderful. Bill took great care of me, and I knew he loved me. When Jessica was born, Bill said, "She's like an angel," and adored her. I thought he would be so protective of her forever, even to the point where I imagined he might faint if she ever talked about getting married. But when Jessica was about 2, Bill suddenly changed. He became cold and distant, and stopped showing any interest in me or our daughter. I didn't understand what was happening. He wouldn't talk to me, and he didn't even want to hold or talk to Jessica. After about a month of this, I couldn't take it anymore, so I confronted him. "Why are you acting like this? Did I do something wrong? Why are you ignoring me and Jessica? I don't understand, and it's really bothering me." Bill calmly responded, "Because that child isn't mine." What? I couldn't understand what he meant. "Jessica is our child." "What are you talking about? Jessica is definitely your daughter," I told him, but he wouldn't listen. Bill said, "She doesn't look like me at all." I replied, "That's not true. She's only 2, and she'll probably look more like you as she gets older." Bill said, "No, she has green eyes, and they're big. I have blue eyes, so there's no way she's my daughter." I was shocked by his reasoning. I said, "Wait, I have green eyes, too, so Jessica must have the same eyes as me." Bill looked like he was starting to believe me, but his pride wouldn't let him fully accept it. "You're just trying to fool me," he said. "That's not true, you have to believe me," I insisted. Eventually, Bill wanted time to think, so he went to his parents' house. That's when I started doubting him and wondering if we could really have a proper family. After Bill talked to his parents, Lily called me and cursed at me, saying, "EW." Then my in-laws and I had a serious talk, and we decided to do a DNA test to settle things once and for all. Bill said, "We don't need a test. I know she's not my daughter," but when I insisted on the test, he agreed. The results came back showing that Jessica was his daughter. Bill looked at me in disbelief and said, "You've got to be kidding me." My father-in-law Pete then said, "The test results are clear. Why don't you admit it and apologize to Lauren?" Pete yelled at Bill, and Bill finally came to his senses. "Lauren, I'm sorry I doubted you. I don't know what got into me," Bill said, bowing his head. I forgave him for now. Some people might have divorced him right away, but I was a housewife at the time and didn't make much money. I didn't want to take Jessica's dad away from her, especially since she was only 2 years old. Besides, we had fallen in love before we got married, and I didn't want to divorce him just like that. But later, I regretted not divorcing Bill at that time. Life with Bill was a bit awkward after that, but we started talking more, and for a while, things felt normal again. Still, Bill couldn't bond with Jessica. When I would say, "Come on, Bill, play with her," he'd reply, yeah," but it always felt uncomfortable. He would play for a short time, then say, "I think moms are better at this," and hand Jessica back to me. As Jessica grew, Bill hardly ever played with her. When she was about 5, she was curious and loved asking questions. She read a lot and always came to me when she didn't understand something. One day, she asked me a history question. Since Bill was great at history, I told her to ask him. So, Jessica ran up to Bill and asked him the question. I tried my best to help Bill get closer to Jessica, but he still turned her away, saying, "You'd get a better answer if you ask your mother." Jessica looked confused and asked, "Well, who should I ask?" I went over to Bill and said, "Jessica is asking you, so you should pay attention to her." Bill replied, "You're here to handle this stuff, so if you're here, there's no need for me." I was shocked to hear him say that. I couldn't understand why he didn't want to spend time with Jessica. She seemed a little lonely because he wasn't there for her. I tried to find ways to bring our family closer, but Bill wouldn't make time for us. Jessica worked hard at piano and studying, partly because she wanted her dad to notice her. My frustration with Bill grew, and one night, I snapped. "That's enough. Why are you avoiding Jessica? She's trying so hard to connect with you. You haven't even come to her piano recital once." Even when I was angry, it felt like Bill just didn't want to do anything for her. He calmly said, "I'm letting her do whatever she wants, so I'm doing my job as a father." "You're too cold to your own daughter," I yelled, but Bill responded, "I wonder if she's really my child." What are you talking about? We did the DNA test," I said, but Bill still seemed unconvinced and went back to his room. I didn't know how to make Bill change his mind. Then, out of nowhere, Bill suggested, "Let's go on a trip to Hawaii with the whole family." I was happy because it seemed like he was finally making time for us, and Jessica would be able to make happy memories with her dad. When we got there, Bill told me he had booked a boat and took me and Jessica to the port. The boat was small but beautiful, and we were excited for the day ahead. Bill even had a boat driving license, so we planned to visit a nearby deserted island. My father-in-law Pete didn't come because he wanted to buy something and visit a friend. So, it was just me, Bill, Lily, and Jessica heading to the island. The island was beautiful, and Jessica loved it. Bill had brought snorkeling gear, and he dived into the water by himself at first. Then he invited Jessica and me to join him. I put on my gear and dove in, like I had before. It was Jessica's first time, so Bill carefully taught her. I was so happy to see Bill finally acting like a dad. Jessica seemed happy too, and soon she was getting the hang of it. Bill said, "I'm going to take a break," and got out of the water. I stayed in the water with Jessica to make sure she was safe and had fun. Before I knew it, time had passed, and the sun was setting. I told Jessica it was time to leave the sea. That's when I started to feel uneasy. Bill and Lily's luggage were gone, and I heard the sound of a boat's engine. I couldn't believe it. Bill had gotten on the boat and left me and Jessica behind. "Hey, why are you leaving us?" I swam toward the boat in a panic, but even though it was small, I couldn't catch up. I worried that I might hurt myself if I tried. Then I heard Bill say, "It's not like we're related by blood anyways, so this is fine." I was stunned. Then Lily appeared on the boat and laughed, saying, "Huh, look at that dumb face." Bill looked at me with disgust, and then the boat left us stranded on the island. I quickly swam back to the island and ran to Jessica, who looked terrified. "Are we stuck here?" she asked. I hugged her, telling her everything would be okay, even though I was scared too. Being stranded on a deserted island felt hopeless. Luckily, I had some portable food in my bag, which could last us a day or two, but not much longer. I kept hoping someone would notice us. With Jessica there, I was able to stay calm. "Let's warm up for now. We could catch a cold from being wet after snorkeling," I said. I dried Jessica off with the towel I had brought and dressed her. Then, we gathered thin tree branches and dry leaves to make a fire. I was grateful I had brought a lighter. When I lit the fire, the flame slowly spread to the leaves and branches, warming us up. But what if no one came to help? I couldn't stop feeling anxious. About 2 hours after Bill left us, a small boat appeared. I quickly stood up, waved my hands, and shouted, "Help," over and over. The boat stopped near us, and the man on board came over. "Are you okay?" he called, motioning for us to get on the boat. The man worked for the boat shop that rented the boat to Bill. As we got in the boat, he explained that after Bill returned the boat, he noticed something wasn't right. Bill and Lily had left, but he realized the number of people didn't match, so he became worried and came to check on us. I was so relieved, I burst into tears. Jessica had fallen asleep in my arms, probably exhausted from the fear. We safely returned to the hotel, and after thanking the people who helped us, Jessica and I went back inside. In the hotel lobby, I met Pete. "Oh, Lauren, where's my son and wife?" he asked, coming over to me. When he saw how tired I looked, he immediately knew something was wrong. "Let's sit down in the lounge," he said. We sat, and I told him what had happened, how we were left behind and how Bill had been distant with Jessica for a long time. After hearing me out, Pete bowed his head and apologized. He said he would never forgive what Bill and Lily had done to us. Pete had always been the one to stand up for me when Bill doubted that Jessica was his daughter. He loved his granddaughter deeply and was the only one who truly cared about us. Pete said, "Let's teach them a lesson." I agreed with Pete's plan and went with him to the hotel front desk. Luckily, Bill and Lily hadn't come back to the hotel yet, probably because they were having dinner. Since I made the reservation, I canceled our stay, meaning Bill and Lily wouldn't be able to stay there. Pete was planning to stay at his friend's house nearby, so he took Jessica and me there. His friend and his wife welcomed us with open arms. By the time we arrived, Jessica had woken up and was enjoying a warm, homemade meal. Then, I got a call saying that Bill and Lily had been caught by the police. They had caused a scene at the hotel because they couldn't check in. The hotel staff had called the police, and when the police arrived, they were aggressive and said, "We made a reservation." Bill and Lily were upset, but when you don't listen to the police, it leads to trouble. They asked Pete and me for help, but we refused. I told the police everything, how Bill and Lily had left us stranded on the island. The police also took statements from the boat staff as evidence. As a result, Bill and Lily were charged with a crime. Bill, in panic, hired a lawyer and had to pay a huge amount for bail, losing a lot of money. They were both in jail for a few days before being released. It was a huge blow to them, both financially and emotionally. It felt good to get back at them, especially because if the boat staff hadn't come, Jessica and I would have suffered much worse. Jessica and I returned home first, packed up our things, and went to my parents' house. Bill soon arrived with divorce papers through my lawyer and demanded alimony for the emotional distress he caused us. I asked him, through my lawyer, why he treated his daughter this way. Bill said that once he doubted that Jessica was his. He lost all love for her. I was shocked and heartbroken. Even after a DNA test confirmed Jessica was his daughter, he still couldn't believe it. I regretted not separating Jessica from him earlier. After the divorce, Bill had to pay alimony and child support, which put him in debt. I also reported what had happened to my old boss, and soon, everyone at Bill's company knew what he had done. He became known as the man who tried to abandon his wife and child. Now, he's full of shame. Meanwhile, Pete divorced Lily because of her actions. She, who had been living off Pete's salary, was left without a job. She tried to get help from Bill, but he refused because he couldn't afford it. Now, she's living in a rundown apartment and working part-time. As for me, I found a new job, rented a small apartment for Jessica and me, and started a new life. Jessica no longer thinks of Bill as her father. She gives all her love to me, practicing the piano every day. She says, "I'm going to win the next competition for you, Mommy. I'll work hard and earn money so I can help you with everything you love." Leaving us on the deserted island was definitely a crime, and I think Bill and Lily should be in jail for what they did, but I'm thankful Pete was a good person who helped us. I hope Lauren and Jessica will keep finding happiness together. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.